Hey everyone, this is Art Doring with First Coach Realty Group. This video is meant to give you some tips for loop file maintenance and how to prepare your loop for closing. What we're seeing with some agents and with some files is that we're missing items when we go to closing or we're going to do file reviews. So what I wanted to do was just give a very quick tutorial on how to send your loop for closing and what we're looking for. So let's jump right in. Let's take a look at a loop and let's see what might be different from this loop from your loop. Okay. So at the very top, we have a full address and not just your client's name. We have that it's a purchase, that it's under contract, the listing price or the sale price, and also the closing date. We're noticing that some agents are not keeping up to date on this, and we want to go ahead and make sure that these things are updated as they change. Okay, so let's scroll down a little bit. Let's take a look at what we have here. Now what I do for my loops is I go ahead and create a second folder, and this folder is just for my primary documents that we're going to need for our review. So I go ahead and label as closing documents. Now it's very easy to create a new folder. We're just going to click add folder. And right here, you're just going to change the name to whatever you want. And then it's very easy to just move files from one to the other. Okay. The reason why I have a second one is these are my documents that are only for review. Okay. Nothing else down here needs to be reviewed by basically by management. It doesn't need to be taken a look at. So like the inspection report, the dirty WDO, anything that you had to sign or maybe the other agent sent you, your proof of funds, these items right here are not necessary for First Coach Realty Group. So the items up here are everything that's going to be checked in my document checklist. So that's another thing is we want to make sure we add our document checklist for review. And what this does is it keeps everybody in line of what is needed. So of course this is an FHA, as you can see. I have all of the items that are in red that need to be in the file. Everything that's in black are items that if you do have one, it needs to be added, but they're not necessary for every single file. So as you can see that this file does not have a repair agreement, and of course doesn't have a lead-based paint, HOA, CDD, or anything else. Okay, I went ahead and checked the disbursement authorization check mark on the bottom just because it's already in the file. So one of the things that you might be able to see in this is that I change the names of my files sometimes to shorten them so they're not, running off. And also I put the word signed next to every file that I know is 100% complete. I've already gone through it. I've double and triple checked it. It's got all of its initials. It's got signatures, every single piece of information that needs to be on them. Some things that we're noticing is that, like the other side, their brokerage information isn't filled out, or something isn't added, and we want to make sure that everything on the purchase and sale agreement is completely filled out and initialed, and it's the right copy. So if you have other copies of your purchase and sale agreement, we don't need to have them in your closing documents. You can just drop them down into your other miscellaneous documents. You want to keep it, that's fine, but we just don't need to submit it for review. Okay. Something else that we noticed is our hold harmless. So we want to make sure the hold harmless is in every single file. It needs to be signed by our client, but we understand that it can't be signed or it won't be signed by every other client, from the other side. So go ahead and make sure that all your stuff is entered on top. And at the bottom, make sure you have your seller and your buyer signatures. Now, if you can't get the other side to sign, it's understandable. But what we need to do is create a PDF copy of the one that you do have, Then take that PDF and put it back into your loop, and then go ahead and add a text box, drop it into your seller spot or whoever didn't sign, and put refused. But like I said, it needs to be signed by our side, but of course we can't get everyone to sign on the other side. But we need to tell the story of why it didn't get signed. So when we go ahead and submit for review, the only thing we're going to click is our closing documents. We don't need to submit our miscellaneous documents. So just click the closing documents and submit. And then that means when we look at it, the only thing we're going to be taking a look at is these main documents. One last thing I wanted to talk about was our disbursement authorizations, or our DAs. Sometimes we're seeing them, they're not completely filled out, or the math is wrong. So always remember, double check your math, because that's where your money is coming from. Very quick, your total commissions, that's going to be every dollar that comes into the First Coast Realty Group. And that's going to be the total commissions. It's going to be your brokerage fees if you have one, and also any bonuses that you might be getting from the other side. So that's going to be this number right here, and then also repeated right here. All of these numbers have to equal this number. So as you can see, this is a very simple DA, but I still want to make sure that I tell a story in my notes of what is going on and how we came to these numbers. So as you can see, this is a Zillow 50-50 split with a $350 broker fee, and the split, how that one works. So if there's anything else, if this starts to get confusing, if there's a lead source, or if there's a team lead or a TC, and you want to show those numbers here, let us know what those numbers and how you got to them in here. So tell the story of how you got here, and that'll make it a lot easier for us when we go ahead and do the math, and then be able to sign the DA that much faster. So again, just let's recap real quick. So we want to make sure that everything is up to date in your file on the top. We want to create a separate folder just for your closing docs. Move everything out of the closing docs that doesn't need to be in the file, that we don't need to inspect. And then everything that's in the document checklist is in this file for review, and we can go through it very quickly. If you have any questions, please call me or text me anytime. If you guys would like to see something else added to this, or if there are any other items with First Coast Realty Group that you guys have questions about, please call us or text us or email us anytime. We want to make sure you guys succeed, and we want to help you guys out. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and that's it.